What's up, Flapjack Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Hey, this video that's uploading right now, this one right now that's uploading on my page right now, this video right now is video number 69. You know what that means, right?
Nice.
One of y'all can tell me. I don't know. I'm head of the Virgin Gang over here, so I'm not too sure. Anyway, something interesting happened that I want to talk about. Let me be one of the first people to show you this great endeavor that's going on right here. So, right here, right now, we have actually a con going on over in Florida. It's Ocala, Florida, where there was a signing of artists. They were going to be there. I think nationals are going on there too, right? Basically, there's a convention going on right there where several artists were going to be there and able to have people get spots and have cards signed from their favorite artists, such as the legendary Mitsuhiro Arita. You had Saito there. You had a bunch of other people that were there. It was a good time, right? The big showcase, though, for people that was going to go there were several artists. Mitsuhiro Arita was the big one. That was the one that everybody was floating around talking about, basically jacking off to right there, going, oh, yeah, I'm going to get my card signed for this stuff, right? Which I do think that's kind of funny, that the signed card thing, I guess there's a big old market for it now. If you had said this exact same thing last year with the exact same artist, there was something happened with Real King Pokemon, old Gary. Not going to really dig that up too much. There's a lot of things that can go on with that. But generally speaking, there was a lot of people that were like, yeah, signed cards or anything like that, no big deal. They don't add value to it. And yes, there was a very specific card they were talking about. But overall, it shouldn't have really changed the overall take of what people were doing with this. Now signed cards are big. They're just big dog money. You can just go down there and flop your whole penis on the table with this good old signed card. And now you got some big old money flowing around. You're a big old pokey celebrity, right? Well, it was kind of a shit show. Kind of wasn't very good from what I've been seeing so far. There was lots of instances of crap going on. You had people, here's the big thing that I saw that actually got me looking at this stuff, right? You got people where it's very clear that they didn't just do one round of signing. They didn't actually play fair by the rules. You have people like this right here with several Charizard signed. Now, whether all these Charizards are for one person or not, I don't know. I'm not going to claim that I know any of that stuff, but it is very clear this person went through the line multiple times and got multiple things signed. One of the big things they changed, along with like the actual size number that you could get, there was like a line, there was VIP, so you had a VIP pass that I'm assuming lets you go to the front of the line, and then you had people that were just waiting a line past that. There's stories of people waiting 10 hours to actually meet with Mitsuhiro Arita. Some of the artists that were there, there's lots of that stuff where people didn't end up doing that because of instances of people either cutting in line, VIP passes being abused, people cycling VIP passes, people just not adhering to any of the rules, just hopping in, getting cards signed and hopping back in line for seconds. With several accounts that stuff happening right here. There's several instances of people also just straight up just abusing the system that was in place here. What I mean by that is there is a system where like you're supposed to have cards personalized to you, right? Like, say I went, right? I got a card signed. If I went, by the way, Mitsuhiro Arita, I would have loved to have signed, like, this card, this Noivern V alt art, it's beautiful. This Giga Chad Eternatus VMAX alt art, or Blaine full art. All these cards, they're super dope, right? A lot of people went, they wanted some of the older school WotC Japanese bigger dick cards. I understand that. I'm not here to just blatantly shit all over the fact that some people are doing that stuff, right? However, I will say it's not the money that's really the problem with it's what people are willing to do. It's what people are also willing to achieve in order to get some of this stuff to happen, right? Like just some of the bullshit tactics where like you're cutting community members, like people that are also in line, and there were some pokey elites there too. Don't worry, I'll probably make a follow-up video to get on their asses. Don't you fucking worry. And hey, if you're watching this, pokey elites that did that shit, I know who you are. I saw that stuff too. There's tons of people who saw you do it. And guess who they sent it to? Little old opossum bud. There'll be a follow-up video for that. Do not fucking worry. But they would hop in, they'd hop back out of line, they'd sit and do that stuff. And it's just weird to me that you do that to fellow community members, like people that you want to watch your videos, people that you want to watch your Instagram posts, do all that stuff, but you'll cut them just blatantly and then be like, ha, I got big money card signed. Go watch my shit, you bunch of posers. Go, you fucking losers. Go watch this shit, fuck faces. Pretending to be big dick fans when actually they've been in less time than like all of them. Cumulatively, they've probably been in Pokemon less time than me. I'm just going to say that right there. And look, I'm not usually that guy pulling time and rank or anything like that, but I've been in longer than they have. For just straight up right there. Some of these people hopped on it because it was opportunity. They saw some people doing that stuff, and it very clearly shows. Them abusing the personalization thing, the best example I could find was people just straight up, like, instead of saying, like, to opossum, which would be, like, for me, if someone signed that card, oh, to opossum bud, here, sign this card from Mitsuhiro Arita, which that'd be dope, by the way. Some people went around that shit and put to Charmander, or to, like, Pokemon names or something like that. than from Mitsuhiro Arita. So like they're doing that to make it less personal, so that when they sell this card, they can put it up on eBay and be like, "Oh no, see, it's not it's Charmander. He meant like it's a Charmander card. He signed Charmander from Mitsuhiro Arita. It's not to me. It's not to any of that stuff. It's so they could flip it easier, because if it's personalized and said like too fuckface or too douchebag, that wouldn't sell as easily. That wouldn't be something that moves quite as well. So stuff like that. The other one I saw too, and this person's really not as clever as they fucking think they are. Let me find it. Yeah, this one right here. So I saw this one right here. By the way, the person that had the Charmander sign one has nothing to do with Charmander. Their actual Instagram name or any of their stuff, nothing to do with Charmander. Same with this one right here, where it's a Blastoise sign one from Mitsuhiro Arita. So this person had like Japanese symbol sign to it right there. It was, you know, just something like that, right? If you look at the very top, that just says Blastoise, and then the second line says Mitsuhiro Arita. How do I know this? Because I'm a Japanese card collector myself. I'm looking at the top, that says Blastoise. That just says 2 Blastoise right there. Hey, you don't believe me? You don't think my word's good for it? You don't think I'm a good fucking Japanese card collector? Here, I'll fucking slap the Japanese for Blastoise right next to it. Here, check that out. Look at them. They look similar to you? You think they look kind of similar? You think so, maybe a little bit? You think somebody's just saying 2 black? It's so they can fucking flip this shit, my guy. It's so they can go there. The actual Comic Con itself, or the Collecticon, or whatever the fuck it was, Osalacon, whatever like that, they put it in place so it had to be personalized to actually combat this shit, to which people were like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want it signed by Mitsuhiro Arita. Look, if you don't want it personalized by him, and you only want Mitsuhiro Arita to sign that shit, you're trying to flip it. I don't care what anybody fucking says. You want to flip that stuff. And look, once again, I'm not shitting on everybody who was there. I'm not making a big old storm. There's tons of people who were there that were just wanting to get cards signed, right? It's just what some people are willing to do to get said money. That's what it is. It's not a problem making a little bit off of a Mitsuhiro Arita signature. I'm not saying that. Yes, it should be worth a little bit more. Yes, it's a little special. I'm not arguing that point at all. What I'm saying is some people did some fucked up shit in order to get that stuff to happen, to the point where Osalacon had to actually say something about that stuff. Right here, let me read you what they said. We feel we should further explain what actually happened with our guest Mitsuhiro Arita's line. Today we have many disappointed for not being able to meet artist Mitsuhiro Arita. We would like to first state we were not allowing VIPs to go into the VIP line without the one-time use voucher. If you see online that a person has 15 plus cards signed, then there are many explanations for it, such as them purchasing VIP, or their friends and family to wait in line for them, or maybe even the possibility of that one person purchasing vouchers off of other people who did not wish to meet Mitsuhiro Arita, and unfortunately, we have no way of tracking that. So some people probably did camp out in line. Some people did probably do that, which I do think is kind of fucked up personally. They'd pay somebody to just sit in line and wait for that, but whatever. You can't really stop that. You can't really do anything about the vouchers either. But once we caught wind of that, we started kicking those people out of line. So they did actually step that stuff. Mitsuhiro's line was cut off around 1 p.m. because we saw it wasn't moving the same speed as our other guests. The reason for the amount of time spent on each person is because Mitsuhiro cares about the quality of the signatures of his fans, which he very clearly does. I'll get to that here in a second. Unfortunately, many of the line we cut off at 1 p.m. was still waiting around 7:30 p.m. At that point, Mitsuhiro was feeling tired. 7:30 p.m. is already an hour and a half after the event had closed. This made it so we had to tell 65 attendants that we would need them to come back the next morning, and gave them vouchers with numbers so we could place them in line where they will be placed before. We also gave those who didn't already have a pass for tomorrow a weekend pass. We respect Mitsuhiro's decision to stop at 7:30 p.m. He is a human being, not a machine. And I completely agree with that. And I feel like some people who went there wanted this man to just pump out fucking money for him. They just want to be like, hey, can you sign like 10 cards for me? I guarantee I've seen where some people were going up there with more cards than they were allowed, hoping he'd just kind of do it. He takes a lot of pride in what he does up there. He takes a lot of pride in his signatures, and he did try his absolute best to do some personalized stuff for some people where it would actually mean something. And some people just obviously didn't give a fuck by telling him to write Blastoise on there or Charmander, which, I mean, obviously he obliged. He's a very nice person. I still think that's kind of fucked up that people would have him do that in the first place when the whole idea, like, nobody's stupid, my guy. Nobody's dumb. You wanted to resell that shit. Ain't nobody stupid. No one is dumb and is just like, oh, I wonder what's going on here. They wanted Blastoise? That must be their Insta. No, it's not their Instagram name. They just literally fucking wanted to resell it. It's so fucking dumb. To the point where even Mitsuhiro Arita commented on that shit. He actually gave an explanation for why the line was going so slow. So this is from the man himself. We can take this, right? It wasn't quality that made me slow. I have many restrictions, so I had to write at least 2 to 3 times more letters for each than before. I believe no other celebrities writes more than 30 to 40 letters for each item. It couldn't be the same speed if compared with the others. Also, people ask me for complicated combinations of requests for personalization and signatures. I was writing in both Japanese and English at the guest receipt. If you all are happy, I'll quit asking about your preferences, in which case he's just going to go back to signing like normally. He's just going to go do that stuff. But what he's talking about is where people were straight up being like, hey, can you write Blastoise in Japanese, Mitsuhiro Arita? Can you do that? Do you mind doing that for that card? Because I'm not trying to do anything with that or anything. That's what's going on here. And it's so goofy to me that people who want to do that stuff just have such blatant disrespect for like the artist's time and stuff like that, to the point where apparently, let me pull it up right here. I saw something like this. Okay, right here, I actually found the story. People apparently followed Arita back to his hotel room last night and tried to get autos. This might be some of the most abhorrent behavior I've heard of, and we absolutely do not need this in the hobby. I completely agree with that right there. Look, if you're a piece of shit and you tried to follow the man back to his hotel room after he was basically there working like an hour and a half past what he was supposed to, yes, he is there working. He is signing nice autographed pieces for you guys. The least you can do is that stuff. And I mean, he's done a lot. He hasn't just done Pokemon. He's done all kinds of art. Tons and tons of stuff, man. And like I said, if this was you, go fuck yourself. You were not welcome in this hobby if you're willing to do that to an artist who does nothing but give to this place. That's all I gotta fucking say about it. Fuck you and get the hell out of this hobby. That's all I'll say it. Get mad at me. Get in my comment section. Say, fuck you. That's what I gotta say about that stuff. That's just absurd. That's ridiculous. And you don't believe me that people are trying to flip this stuff? Where did I see that other one? Where did I see that fucking other one right here? Let me see that shit. Yeah, right here. Here's this stuff. Anyone that thinks auto shouldn't be worth $500 or more, go buy a plane ticket, hotel, cards to get signed, grading fees, spend 10 hours in line to get 2 cards signed, and then say it's not worth an increased price. I'll be shocked to hear from anyone that has done this that thinks auto shouldn't be worth more than that much. Yeah, this person right here, yeah, no one made you do that, by the way. I thought you would want to do that in order to actually go meet the artist. Like the increased price of sales on a card, that's kind of a bonus, but that's kind of up to the market, as everybody keeps telling me. Like, no one made you do this. Mitsuhiro Arita didn't come into your room with a knife and go like, you better come to this con and you better spend $500. You better buy a plane. You did that. You should have wanted to do that for the hobby. These are people that do nothing but give and give and give to this hobby. And you're going to complain about doing all that stuff? You had a chance to meet a legend. And this is what you're going to do? Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't care if you see this when you post a story. This is bullshit. It does not warrant that automatically. It does not do it. It does not make it more than $500. That's not up to you. That's up to the market. And I don't feel like the market's going to look at these Mitsuhiro Arita cards super well with some of the bloodshed that kind of went on this stuff, my guys. Some of the bullshit that happened with this stuff. People following him back to his rooms. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Like I said, there's going to be a part 2 of this stuff. It's ridiculous, man. Like, tell me that people aren't just here for some money. Tell me we don't got fake fans here that'll literally, who didn't care about artists a year ago whenever the whole Mitsuhiro Arita, Real King, Frosted Caribou thing was going on. Tell me people care about the artists here. Fucking tell me. You're not going to convince me. There's a good chunk of people here that do, and there's plenty of people at the convention that were doing what they're supposed to do, just trying to be a good fan, just trying to actually get there and meet one of their favorite people, one of their favorite artists, man. And then some people had to come in and ruin it, mostly the Poke Elites. I know who the hell y'all are. That's all I got. Happy Sunday. It's some shit. I'm definitely going to do a follow-up video for this. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more. It's some goofy goober stuff. That's all I got. See you later, virgins.